Hi, I'm Adriana and you're watching the Spiritual Awakening with Adriana channel. Today we'll be talking about one very interesting topic. It is the Plato's Allegory of the Cave. Plato was an Athenian philosopher during the classical period in ancient Greece, and he is of course the founder of the Platonist school of thought and the academy. His work has inspired philosophers that lived many centuries after he did, and his thought is still as intriguing as it was at the time when he lived. His allegory of the cave is a very interesting subject, and the one that can really help you in your spiritual journey to start thinking about the world around you in some different terms, and seeing that things are not necessarily what they seem. Plato has Socrates, his teacher, describe a group of people that have lived chained to the wall all of their life. They know only this cave and only a fraction of it, the blank wall. They live their days watching shadows that are projected from objects passing in front of a fire behind them, and they view these shadows as reality and give them names. This is the gist of the Allegory of the Cave as Plato wrote it. But those shadows that they see are really just the reality of these prisoners. It is not the real world. When one of these prisoners is freed, and Socrates explains that philosopher is that prisoner that is freed, and he comes out of the cave and he realizes that the shadows on the wall are not really the reality. The other prisoners do not believe him. They do not desire to leave their prison. They do not know better life. One day prisoners managed to break their bonds, and they discovered that their reality was not really a reality. There was another realm that they were not aware of, and it was only philosophers that were able to lift their consciousness and exploring their mind. This very brave possibility that the cave was not the world in its entirety. We all in a way live in a cave, bounded by our own senses and ability to understand the world around us. When I learned about Nick Bostrom and his simulation hypothesis, it immediately dawned on me how Plato's cave is in fact the perfect depiction of the simulation hypothesis. Just imagine prisoners mistaking shadows for the real world. Simulation, if there ever was one, it is like imagining that little people in the game that many of you most probably played, Sims. Just imagining like they have consciousness and they think that their world that you see on your computer screen is all that there is. The same with us. If simulation hypothesis is real, and with what we know about computing and the advancement of technology, it might very well be. Then we are like those prisoners in the cave, staring at the wall and naming shadows that are not real. Plato supposes that one prisoner is freed. This prisoner would look around and see the fire. The light would hurt his eyes, and it would be very difficult for him to see the objects casting the shadows. If he were told that what he is seeing is real instead of the other version of reality he sees on the wall, he would not believe it. Plato continues to say that in his pain, the freed prisoner would turn away and run back to what he is accustomed to. It is always easier to just pretend that this 3D world is all that there is, and to deny the simulation hypothesis because it really sounds like too scary. The Plato's prisoner that is freed would run away and continue to see just the shadows of the carried objects, because the real world would hurt his eyes and he would escape from the truth back to the security of the only world he has ever known. However, he, the prisoner that has seen the real world, would think that the world outside the cave was superior to the world he experienced in the cave. But alas, when he attempts to share this with the prisoners remaining in the cave, attempting to bring them onto the journey with him, he had just endured and enjoyed so much, he would want them to come out of the cave and into the sunlight. But he would be blind when he returns to the cave, so other prisoners would think that he is like, hurt, he is harmed from the journey. So he most probably is not someone they would want to follow. They would fear other prisoners that were still just living this reality that they perceived as real. They would want to remain in that reality and not to get hurt as he did. The cave represents the superficial physical reality, and this is the reality that we live in. It also depicts the ignorance, stupidity, and vanity of thinking and accepting as real only what is given as face value. If you never think beyond your day-to-day existence, and you think that you are this little ant that has to carry all the burden of the world, and you never stop and wonder what beauty is out there for you to discover, you are like those prisoners of the cave. This story of cave also shows how darkness can engulf you if you do not expose yourself to the life, and if you allow chains to stop you from learning the truth and expanding your consciousness. You do not have to take the illusion around you as the ultimate reality. You have the ability to expand your reality. And to understand that physical 3D world is only a shadow of the sun, but there is a higher truth around us and wisdom that is not available to you if you chain yourself to this 3D. And I do not mean this only in a sense that what if this is a simulation? Even if this is a reality, even if this the world that we are living in is the base reality, even more in that case, you are obliged to yourself to learn more, to become more. And coming back to my one of my videos about do we even die, and what happens to us when we die, you have to live every day like it is your last day. You have to live every day to make it worth it. And unfortunately, many of the people are same as those poor prisoners and of Plato's in his Allegory of the Cave, and they just remain in their own level of understanding and symbolism of this allegory of the cave, and the possibility that we live in a simulation and that there is a larger world is simply amazing. And also, for me, it is thoroughly fascinating that such a long time ago philosophers were also considering that there is a different world out of reach for us, and now we might be closer than ever before to truly understand the world around us. I do hope that we will get answers on what shadows we are seeing and interpreting them as real world, and a more expanded view on the world very soon. And that those answers will be answered by scientists. And in the meantime, you can undertake your own journey. You can work to develop your own spirituality and to evolve in your understanding of the world and of yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that I did not complicate this Allegory of the Cave too much. I just love this subject and I could talk about it for hours. So expect new videos on that topic in the future, definitely. Hit the like button if you like, hit the dislike if you don't like it. Subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell that appears when you subscribe to the channel. Have an amazing day. Take care of yourself, take care of the people that you love, take care of the animals that you love, and enjoy yourself and have fun. Bye.